हाय हेलो स्टूडेंट, आज हम करेंगे नया टॉपिक जो कि है आपका टाइम सीरीज़ एनालिसिस। टाइम सीरीज़ एनालिसिस में आज हम थोड़ा सा थ्योरेटिकल पार्ट स्टार्ट करेंगे। इसमें आपके इसके कंपोनेंट्स होंगे, मॉडल होगा और इसकी डेफिनेशन होगी। बिल्कुल इंट्रोडक्शन से स्टार्ट करेंगे। लेट अस स्टार्ट विद मीनिंग एंड डेफिनेशन। तो आपकी टाइम सीरीज का मीनिंग क्या होता है? अ टाइम सीरीज इज अ सेट ऑफ डाटा डिपेंडिंग ऑन टाइम एज इट्स नेम सजेस्ट। इट्स रिलेटेड टू टाइम. Time is base for time series, right? A set of data depending on the time and a series of value over a period of time, right? Collection of magnitudes belonging to different time period of some variable or composite of some variable, such as production of steel. You can see the production of steel in some years, like for 10 years, per capita income of any country, right? Gross national income, GDP, GNP, प्राइस ऑफ टोबैको, इंडेक्स ऑफ इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोडक्शन, ये सब हम इससे देख सकते हैं. सो टाइम इज एक्ट एज अ डिवाइस ऑफ सेट ऑफ कॉमन स्टेबल रेफरेंस पॉइंट. टाइम आपका एक रेफरेंस पॉइंट की तरह काम करता है यहाँ पे. इन टाइम सीरीज टाइम एक्ट एज एन इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल टू एस्टिमेट डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल्स, राइट? Time play a role as independent variable in time series and other dependent variable which you want to check, like production of any product, yeah, like performance of any company, right? So that will be dependent variable. Mathematical presentation of time series. A time series is set of observation taken as specified time, usually at equal interval times. Mathematically, a time series is defined by the value of y1, y2 of variable y at times t1, t2. दस वी कैन हम इसको कर सकते हैं, लिख सकते हैं इसको इक्वेशन की फॉर्म में. y इज इक्वल टू फंक्शन ऑफ t. y आपका कोई ना कोई वेरिएबल रहता है जिसको आप स्टडी करना चाहते हो, राइट? एंड t आपका टाइम को डिनोट करता है, राइट? सो देन causes of variation in time series data. Yes, causes of variation in time series data. There are different causes, right? Like social, custom. There are so many type of custom in every country. Festival, seasons, 4 phases of business. Like you can say prosperity, which we also can say boom, right? Decline, depression, and recovery. There are some natural calamities like earthquake, epidemic, flood, drought, etc. So these are the causes for variation, right, in time series data. Importance of time series analysis. Why there is need to study time series, right? So let us see. First, a very popular tool for business forecasting. If you want to forecast something about business, then you can use it as a tool, राइट? तो बिजनेस फोरकास्टिंग के लिए टाइम सीरीज एनालिसिस को एज ए टूल यूज़ कर सकते हैं. बेसिस फॉर अंडरस्टैंडिंग पास्ट बिहेवियर. Suppose you want to understand the past behavior of any variable, any data, like you want to check past performance of any company, past profit, you want to analyze past profit of any company. So you can use time series analysis. Can forecast future activity or planning for future operation. You can plan for future operations with the help of time series analysis. Evaluate current accomplishment or evaluation of performance. Even you can evaluate your current accomplishment which you have achieved, or evaluate your current performance with the help of time series analysis. And last, it also facilitate comparison between two time series, right? So comparison is also possible with the help of time series analysis. In this way, you can understand past behavior, you can forecast future, you can evaluate current accomplishment or evaluation of current performance, and you can have comparison of two time series. And one more, it is a very popular tool for business forecasting. So this is about importance of time series analysis. So let's see some example, because example are also important. Stock price, right? Sensex exchange rate, interest rate, inflation rate, national GDP, retail sales, electric power consumption, number of accident, fatalities, etc. These are some example of time series analysis, right? Then let's see, that is very important part of time series, that is component of time series. Let's see what are the component. It is very important. First you need to know what is component, right? Definition of component: characteristics, movement or fluctuations of time series are known as its component. And there are different type of component. Let's see types of components of time series that are very important. So first one is secular trend or trend, this is denoted by T. Second one is seasonal variation, or you can say seasonal fluctuation, that is denoted by S. Third one is cyclical variation or fluctuation, that is denoted by C. And last one is irregular variations or movements, that is denoted by I, right? So these are four trends. Let us do one by one what it mean and how you can explain different type of component of time series. So start with first one, that is secular trend, or you can simply say trend, denoted by T, right? The general tendency of data to grow or decline over a long period of time is known as secular trend or trend. It is related to long period time, right? The forces which are constant over a long period, or even if they vary, they do so very gradually, produce the trend, right? For example, population change, technological progress, improvement in business organization, better medical facility, etc. Trends can be downward or upward. Example of downward trend is declining in death rate, or upward trend can be like population growth, right? Mathematically trend may be linear and non-linear. So these are type of trend. Now let's see what is the purpose of measuring trend. Why there is need to measure the trend. First, knowledge of past behavior. Definitely you can have knowledge of past behavior with the help of trends. And estimation, definitely, and study of other component. You can study other component with the help of trends. Then come to second component, that is seasonal variation, or you can say seasonal fluctuations. Let's see. The component responsible for regular rise or fall fluctuations in the time series during a period not more than 1 year. This is seasonal variation are related to short run. The time period should not be more than 1 year. Fluctuation occur in regular sequence, means periodical. The period being a year, it can be a month, a week, a day, or even a fraction of day like an hour, etc. Right? It will depend what kind of things you want to measure, right? So here the term seasonal is meant include any kind of variation which is of periodic nature and whose repeating cycle are relatively short duration, right? The factor that cause seasonal variation are, what are the factor because of that, because of which type of factor there may be seasonal variation. First is climate or weather condition. Characteristics or feature of seasonal variation. Seasonal variation are regular, are in fixed proportion. There may be increase or decrease, and easy forecast. Easy to forecast. You can easily forecast seasonal variations. Okay, now purpose of measuring seasonal variation. Why there is need to measure seasonal variation? First one is analysis of past behavior. Definitely you can analyze past behavior of the series. And second, forecasting the short time fluctuation. Third one is elimination of seasonal variation for measuring cyclical variation, right? So these are the purpose of measuring seasonal variation. So let us see what are the example. Some of the example are here. Example of seasonal variation: crops are sown and harvested at certain time every year, definitely, and the demand for labor growing up during sowing and harvesting season, right? So demand for the labor will be high in the time of sowing of the crops and harvesting of the crops. Then demand for woolen cloth definitely goes up in winter and definitely decrease in summers. Then price increases during festival, definitely prices of the goods increase during the festival time, right? Withdraw from bank are heavy during first week of the month, definitely. And then the number of letter posted on Saturday is larger, definitely, because people have time, right? Then come to third type of trend, third type of component of time series, that is cyclic variations, right? You can say these are the variation which are related to business cycle, or you can say trade cycle. Let us see what happened here. Cycle refer to recurrent variation in time series. Cyclical variation usually last longer than a year. These variation are more than 1 year, right? Cyclical fluctuation or variation are long-term movement that represent consistently recurring rise or decline in an activity, right? There are business cycle, or you can say trade cycle. Every business cycle or trade cycle have 4 phases. Let us see what are these 4 phases. Prosperity, which is also known as boom, right? High time, boom. Then decline, then depression and recovery, right? So these are 4 phases, or you can say 4 stages of a business cycle or trade cycle. So what is the purpose, why there is need to find out the measure the cyclical trend? So first is measure of past cyclical behavior, definitely forecasting. And third one is useful in formulating policies in business. Definitely there is a need of different kind of policy in business. Then last one is irregular variations, also called erratic, random or accidental variation. These are the last, denoted by I, and also known as erratic, random and accidental variation. Do not repeat in a definite pattern. There is no definite pattern, right? Causes may be strikes, fire, wars, famines, flood, earthquake, etc. Characteristics of irregular trend: irregular and unpredictable, no definite pattern, short period of time, no statistical technique. Then analysis or decomposition of time series. It consists of discovering, measuring, isolating component of time series. Then last one is mathematical model of time series. There are 2 type of model: additive model and multiplicative model. Let us do first additive model. We assume that data is sum of the time series component y t is equal to t plus s plus c plus I. As you know, t is trend, s is seasonal variation, c for cyclic variation, and I for irregular variations. Second one, if data do not contain one of the components, suppose there is only 3 component, right? One component is no there, so we will assume the value of missing component as 0. Suppose there is no cycle, then yt will be t plus s plus I, right? Then the seasonal component is independent of trend, and thus magnitude of seasonal swing is constant over the time. There is no impact of season on the trend, right? Then multiplicative model, we assume that data is product of various component, right? Here we do the multiplication of various component. Yt is equal to t into s into c into I. If trend, seasonal variation or cycle is missing, then the value is assumed to be 1, right? Suppose there is no cycle, then yt is equal to t into s into I. The seasonal factor of multiplicative model is a proportion ratio to the trend, and thus magnitude of the seasonal swing increases or decreasing according to the behavior of trend. So in this way, this is about the theory of the time series analysis. We will do practical and methods in other videos. So this is about only theoretical knowledge of the time series. Thank you very much.